everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Today is Thursday. I have had a great day. I was on World Blockchain Roundtable this morning. I got to jump on with VSTEG, with Skullcap Savant earlier today, and we're rounding out the day with my buddy Johnny Litecoin. There's crypto chaos in the markets, but is it, or is it crypto calm? Because there are all kinds of things happening. I just went through Johnny's feed, and Charlie Lee's just so calm. The voice of reason, just making moves in his calm way. So we're going to check it out right after this, and I want to see what Johnny thinks about it. So jump in the live chat. Let me know what you think about it. But first, give me a like and a subscribe, please. See you guys in a minute. Great to see you, Johnny. How's it going?
I'm doing good, Lisa. How you doing? How's everybody doing out there?
Doing good, doing good. Nana's in the chat. Westwood's in the chat.
Westwood.
We've got people rolling in. So people are saying, crypto chaos in the markets. You know, a lot of us were watching silver roll up to 50 and hoping that would break through. We're seeing all the suppression there. A lot of people are, blaming the banksters. It's always easy to blame the big guys and play victim. But these kind of times when things get real quiet around, I get kind of excited looking for the opportunity, because we can all kind of like, okay, wait, they just put the brakes on. Let's reevaluate what's happening here. And it looks like there's a lot of moves to privacy. And cross-chain. Markets are moving. We saw the LBMA fail. They were trying to move physical silver to cover those shorts. And now there's all the talk about stable coins, stable. People are now hearing, Trump called himself the stable genius back in, what was it, the 80s or something, 80s or 90s. And now that means something different to us.
Yeah.
So I was scrolling through your feed, and you found some really interesting stuff.
Yeah. There's some cool stuff going on. Why don't you go through my feed and we'll...
Yeah, what do you think about all of this?
So the silent swap stuff, this is again, it's a privacy focused platform for, doing cross-chain swaps in a private, confidential manner. I mean, that's kind of what we've always been looking for, right?
Why is that needed if we have MWeb? Or is...
Well, that's MWeb. It complements MWeb, because MWeb's you're just utilizing Litecoin. You're not doing any type of swap with MWeb. So maybe you could take Litecoin that's in MWeb and move it through this decentralized swap service. That's privacy focused swap service. So again, that's how MWeb would be incorporated into it.
So then you could move it to then bridge to things like Monero, Zcash, having other privacy options, other coins.
Yes.
To other privacy coins.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, really exciting.
Should I play this video real quick?
Possibly in the future, this could maybe... I know a lot gets a lot of hate, but perhaps Lightning Network could be incorporated into this in somehow or some way down the line.
Okay.
Be a potential thing. If that's in theory just a network, right? Why couldn't you swap into that network, I guess? I would have to see it.
And that would benefit by making transactions faster, more secure.
Well, I guess Bitcoin itself doesn't have privacy, but what I've heard, and theoretically, Lightning has privacy. Even though Lightning, I wouldn't say it's not really usable yet. It's like, it's again, it's a lot of stuff with Litecoin. Lightning. I mean, it's theoretical what it's going to be. So it's not, But look, I don't hate on it because I'm like, look, it's not there yet, but it's something that, hey, if it's good or could offer scalability, we need all hands on deck. So it's something that I would want to succeed. And we always said the best way to use Lightning in the future was going to be from onboarding via Litecoin and then into the Lightning network. And then from there, if you wanted to swap into Bitcoin, swap into something else, I don't know. So again, we have to see when this silent swap comes out, what the options are, what it incorporates, how it works. But everything I'm hearing about it, it's very promising. And like you said, Lisa, privacy has been on the in the news as of late, if you could say. You know what I mean? It's catching some attention, these privacy coins.
Yeah, and internationally as well, not just, here in the US or talking about, people are talking about, the importance of cash when we're watching, the penny go away and them trying to move people to the digital society, and even SNAP benefits going away. And, people are starting to have this awareness of like, wait a minute, what's going on, and how they've kind of mindlessly been shoved into this digital system. And then they realize, they're starting to wake up and what's happening, and that they didn't have much control over their own spending or their privacy, and so it's been interesting to kind of watch that. And then once again, internationally, watching people and that barter system kind of start popping up. Well, if I'm not allowed to buy this or buy that, well, maybe then I'll go trade this or that with my neighbor,
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's ideally the what we always said, that's the kind of, in a way, the intrinsic value of a Litecoin or of certain cryptos, is that, hey, if we get to this world where the banks aren't around, Litecoin, which something like a Litecoin still has value, even though you might not know the price at that point in time. But again, it's not tied to the dollar. So, hey, I have Litecoin. It has value. It's still being used, right? It still works. So what could I buy with this? Oh, your neighbor says, gee, Litecoin. Yeah, well, hey, I'll trade you this for X amount of Litecoin. Here, send them over here. So in a peer-to-peer world, Litecoin is the best option, period, in a peer-to-peer environment. Here's why. As much as I love silver, there's fake silver out there.
Right.
So peer-to-peer silver is risky, and it only works in person. It only works in person, which, a lot of barter, like a Mad Max world, obviously, is going to be in person, but still, it only works in person, right? We're in this digital world. That's what people are used to. So again, Litecoin with fast settlement, right? And we talked about it. There's certain coins that have a faster settlement than Litecoin, but Litecoin still, for how decentralized it is, for everything it offers, being so closely tied to Bitcoin, it's 4 times as fast as Bitcoin. The network settles every 2.5 minutes. So you're getting final settlement on something that's never been down in 14 years in 2.5 minutes. And you're guaranteed not to get fake Litecoin. Again, if it's 2.5 minutes later, the block clears, hey, I'm getting real Litecoin. It can't be fake. You can't say that with anything else. You can't say that with silver. You certainly can't say it with gold. there's a lot more fake gold out there than there is fake silver because gold's worth more money. There's fake bills out there. We know that. Like we talked about it. Hey, you want to take 10 or 20 grand in cash from somebody? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't. What if they gave me fake counterfeit bills? I don't know.
Right.
What am I, an expert at? What am I, a currency sniffing dog? I mean, I don't I don't know.
Even banks won't take each other's cashier's checks. They refuse. Like you can take another bank's cashier check, but you have to deposit it at your bank or their bank, and it has to clear.
Days.
Yeah, because they don't even trust each other's cashier's checks.
So
I mean, that's how bad it is.
That wire transfers can be pulled back. I told you the story about a guy that he does sell silver and gold, but he's mainly a jeweler. But he does always have a nice case or two of just bullion that comes in that he buys from people. So you'll see, eagles in there, silver bars, gold eagles. They're all different types of stuff. But we were talking about cryptos one day. He doesn't really understand cryptos. A lot of these people that are into metals or jewelry, they don't want to think about cryptos. But I explained how it's an invention, no fraud, no chargeback, no pulling back payment. I said, you're a jeweler. I said, you've never had a dispute or fraud where you've lost money. And he told me he lost $93,000 to watches that he sold, that he shipped. He didn't want to take a credit card because in his mind, he's thinking a credit card can be charged back. He's only going to take a wire. Well, they pulled back the wire on him, and he shipped Rolex watches or whatever other high-end watches they were. I think they were Rolexes.
How awful.
And got beat for $93,000. I said, had you taken Bitcoin or Litecoin, you would have been guaranteed. I said, that's the point of it. It's the only thing that's been created that guarantees you to get payment and not lose the money. Now, you might lose value, right? We can't control. The market can get thrown. Now, that typically doesn't happen where we get those liquidation events. Typically, what's Litecoin on an average day going to move up or down?
But you're not really losing value because you make a deal at the moment that you make the deal. The moment you make the agreement, you shake the hand, and whatever the value is at
the
that
exchange
moment,
rate. Yes.
That's when you
money. It's just a different exchange rate. That's the good thing with Litecoin. If you took 5 Litecoins for payment from somebody and the exchange rate changes, you could look at it as, I lost money. You could look at it as, hey, I still have the 5 Litecoin.
Right.
The exchange rate on it's just shittier right now. See, we don't ever think about that with dollar. With dollars has an exchange rate to everything too. And we're just like, no, $20 is $20. Well, that's how the bad guys want us to think. They want us thinking that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you now can't fill your gas tank, but you didn't think about that.
Right.
You just lost money because you sold your silver for $20 or let's say $40 or whatever. And now you can't fill your gas tank because gas went up. No, your dollar just went down.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? So that it is, but you didn't lose anything because the deal is made when you shake the hand, when you make the deal at that point. And that's
why I say it's good. Even my pinned tweet, Lisa, I still have the same pinned tweet up that I've always.
I know, and they keep unliking it every time I go in there.
It's about silver to Litecoin and how the way to take profit is into silver, and there's always an exchange rate of silver to Litecoin, which is really cool. And I think that kind of can tell you, at least for those two assets, which asset will be cheap relative to the other. Now, silver has an exchange rate.
Hey, guys, John.
Here we go.
You want me to play it real quick?
Johnny Litecoin here. How's it going today? All right, guys. The $1 million question is, what do you do when Litecoin pumps? You got to have a plan ahead of time. You don't want to be in on any asset. It's going euphoric and you don't know what to do. Make your plan ahead of time. So I never liked the idea personally of selling into fiat. That doesn't work for me. I'm in Litecoin because it's sound money. It's a hard currency. I got off the Titanic, the US dollar Titanic. So why would I want to sell and get back on the boat? It doesn't make sense. I'm eyeing the ratio of Litecoin to silver. All right. Right now, it's about 3-to-1. There's about 3 ounces of silver for every 1 Litecoin. If you track this ratio historically, it's been 10-to-1 on a few different occasions. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not necessarily looking at Litecoin in terms of US dollar price. I'm looking at it in terms of what's its ratio compared to other hard assets. I also look at the Litecoin to Bitcoin ratio. That's a good move, swapping back and forth. Never swap all your Litecoin, never sell all your Litecoin. But if you've been sitting on a lot of Litecoin for a while and you want to take some profit, I don't think taking profit in US dollars is the best idea. All right, maybe a small portion of it, but if you want to take profit, I like the idea of swapping into another hard asset. So guys, I'm monitoring the Litecoin to silver ratio. I'm looking for Litecoin to silver to go to 10-to-1, where 10 ounces of silver equals 1 Litecoin. Think about it. At that point in time, you can get 100 ounces of silver for 10 Litecoins. You can get 1,000 ounces of silver for 100 Litecoins. I'd much rather have physical silver than US dollar that's losing value. Guys, just food for thought, but think about that. Make your plan ahead of time and think about swapping hard asset for hard asset. Peace, you guys.
That is the way you win the game.
That's how we win, and we get out of this fiat casino, this vampire casino that Westwood has coined the name of that. But we get out of that mindset, and we get into this mindset of, okay, hard asset to hard asset. That's how we win. And that's how we win. And that's how you make sure it's like, I guess, swimming in the ocean. You want to swim with the current, not against it. So if you don't want to be swapping like, in other words, right now, you don't want to be buying silver using Litecoin unless you're just converting dollar real quick and using Litecoin as the payment method. And that's cool. I get it with that. If you say, hey, I'm going to get a discount if I pay with Litecoin, so I'm going to take $1,000 and convert the $1,000 into Litecoin and then utilize that to buy physical silver. Okay, cool, right? Because somebody might be shipping it to you and they say, well, I'm not going to trust any other payment form, but if you send me Litecoin, I'll ship it out today, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the truth of it. The truth of it with buying silver, anything like that, the dealer wants to know the settlement time. So in other words, if you buy silver and use Litecoin, they'll ship it out right away. But if you say you're going to pay by check or credit card or something else, they might delay that shipment, wire transfer, all these other payment forms. They'll delay the shipment because they want to get some type of, make sure it's good or clears, even though they can always still lose out with that, because I feel like these payments in the fiat system can be canceled till God knows when.
Right.
With Litecoin, they know.
Later, you were telling us. Yeah. I never
we do a deal now. It's 10:36 at night. If we send each other money through the bank, we wouldn't have the money. Probably it's Thursday night. We probably wouldn't have the money till Monday, right? Till Monday. Think about that. Yeah. We send each other a bank transfer right now. We're not going to have the money till Monday. Where if I send you Litecoin right now, Lisa, in a couple minutes, you're going to have final settlement. You'll see it in a second. If I sent you Litecoin right now, 2 seconds later, you can say, okay, Johnny, yep, I got it. I see the Litecoin coming. Okay, cool. You got it. It went to the network. It's on its way. It didn't have final settlement. Give it a minute. Give it 30 seconds. Give it 2 minutes. Depends on where in that, how quick the block's going to clear. When, you know what I mean? Yada, yada, yada. Because the blockchain, depending on you, there might have been a block that cleared a few minutes ago. You send a transaction out, now all of a sudden another block clears in 10 seconds. Maybe you got final settlement in 10 seconds. You know what I mean? So on average, the worst you'll get final settlement on average is 2.5 minutes. So that's pretty good so by 10:39 or 10:40, Lisa, you'd have final settlement on your money versus Monday morning. The bank might say Monday morning, we'll post till 9 a.m.
Right.
or something like that. So
They'll let you know. Yeah.
So like 9 a.m. Monday morning, what if there's a banking holiday? What if there's oh shit, it's the fan situation.
Mm-hmm.
And you sold somebody silver, traded somebody silver. You said, hey, send me money through the fiat system. That sounds like a good idea. Now you're out your silver, and who knows when you're getting your bank transfer.
Dangerous, really dangerous. Yeah. It is crazy.
And that's where, Lisa, Litecoin became therapy for me, working in that credit card system and seeing delays and hiccups and stuff not batching out and settling in time and funding getting delayed, or the risk department holds payments because they say it looks risky. We got to investigate it. The investigator's away. Now it's another week goes by. The people's money's being held. So for me, Litecoin was therapy from all that, because I was just like, look, this isn't me holding your money. This is the system that you choose to use.
Right.
And yeah, I provided you equipment that works with that, but you could just as easily accept cash through that system. You could accept Litecoin. You could accept anything you want. Now, even if there's not a direct integration into the system in Litecoin, you could send somebody an invoice and say, okay, pay me in Litecoin, and then close out that sales. I was paid with Litecoin. You close it out, takes the product out of your inventory. You give them a receipt. It's going to show on your reporting that you recorded that sale came in Litecoin. You just treated the Litecoin like cash. But if you want to take the risk of taking credit cards, and that's where I was always like feeling bad about it. I was like, oh man, I'm feeling bad. These people's money is held. I was feeling like personally responsible. Then I found Litecoin. I was like, oh my God, this is the answer. I can just tell hey, there's something better coming. It's just that, the overlords might not want you to use it.
Right. Well, and when you educated us about the fees and where those fees are really originating and who's really, getting paid all those fees and who's charging them, and whose lap they're ending up in, you know what I mean? Because the fees with Litecoin are so cheap. And, now we've seen this big trend where most stores, when you go in, the store is putting those fees on the person purchasing. And
very big trend in the credit card world is to pass the fee through to the card holder,
the client. Yeah. And that's, that is really, and it's not even, I can't remember. It's not the payment system. It's the bank issuing the cards, right? That has the big fee.
There's fees. All types of people are collecting money behind the scenes. So it's packaged to you, the consumer, in one bulk rate. So typically you'll see 3.5% being charged when you go to use a credit card that you pay. That's the average. Now you might say, oh, I paid 2.9% at a place yesterday. Okay. That place is a little cheaper. Mm-hmm. Now you might go to another place, they're charging 4%. Typically it's between 3 and 4%. 3.5% is the average. So now you, the consumer, to pay with a credit card, are paying 3.5% more on that. And you've always seen that with gas. It's always been a thing with gasoline. You pay with cash, you probably pay on average 3% less.
It's wild.
And so the thing is, here's the thing, there's never going to be a free digital payment except Litecoin or certain decentralized cryptos. I'll explain why. Because you're never going to be able to go to a register and pay for something and there's no fees to the merchant or to you back as the card holder, because that system costed money to go in there. That software is controlled by somebody. So they say, hey, any payment that comes through here, I want to collect the toll. Now, a lot of times, right, this is the business I'm in.
Right.
So rightfully so, I might put equipment into a business that costed me $10,000. So I lay out that 10 grand for that whole register system setup, printers in the kitchen, screens that show what's coming in, right? The business doesn't want to pay for nothing, right? So we gotta, like any business, you gotta get paid back. So you're collecting fees off what comes through. Now, there's never going to be a free where everything's free in the system, because then if not, somebody's paying for that system, that software, that tax, that toll that goes through. Except if you want to treat Litecoin like cash, you have to look at Litecoin as a currency instead of like the payment network programmable money angle. Then you look at that. See, the problem is America just wants it easy. You go to tell a business like that, they're like, oh, I just want to hit a button and it goes like that. It's easy, right? It's like, okay, what do you do with cash? Oh, we got to count it up, put it in the register. Okay, well, you're doing something manually.
You're doing something, yeah.
That's how you have to treat Litecoin. Hey, here's a private wallet. Send me the payment here. And then you go to the system and we put a Litecoin payment button in there. So now they pay with Litecoin. The system's not checking the blockchain to see if the payment comes in, but it's taking your word for it. Just like if you tell the system I got $50 cash, the system's taking your word that you put that in the cash drawer. You have to treat Litecoin the same way. And that's how the only way that a free digital payment will work in the future is using these layer 1 blockchains in a peer-to-peer method, or a layer 2 that's built on top of it, but by using good decentralized blockchains in a peer-to-peer manner. And very few of us are going to be able to transact that way, because most people are never going to learn it. They're going to rely on their bank to do it for them. Yeah, your bank will let you pay with Litecoin or other cryptos. That's great for them. Now there's no fees to move it around behind the scenes, and they're charging your ass the same thing. Wait, the bank's going to lower the fee for you? They're just going to make more. If anything, the people in the payments world, they'll say, hey, stable coins, Litecoin, all this stuff, that's great. We're still charging the people. Hey, the people are used to paying 3.5%, right? Yeah, you know what? We'll let them pay with Litecoin now. Or whatever.
And they're not doing anything different. If they're looking in a bank account to see if the payment went through, it's the same thing as looking at a wallet, a crypto wallet, and seeing if the payment cleared, and then they could just hit the button and say,
it's just that people want things so like easy. So if they have to take it into a separate wallet and look, they're like, oh, that's too hard. What do you mean that's too hard?
Same thing as looking in your bank account.
You're looking and
you're
looking. And when we do this in the real world, which we've done at some events where the bars accepted crypto, and we had signs out that said, hey, please send payment to this address or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it was on a sign. The bartenders actually found it to be an easier method, because they said, hey, if it's credit card, we still have to go over and take the payment somehow, some way, right? If it's cash, we got to bring them change, this and that.
Right.
They were actually telling people, hey, pay with Litecoin, pay that thing. Hey, show me your phone. People were showing the bartender their phone. Hey, I sent payment. See right here? I sent $20. And they could see that address that it went to or whatever. And, now the addresses are becoming more human readable, where instead of saying like, LTC1X53, the address, the readable address will say Stone Tavern. Now they see in there, oh yeah, you sent $20 in Litecoin to Stone Tavern. We see they don't have to verify it. So it's actually a super easy method. if people just use their brain for about 3 seconds
Yep.
and learn it. But
And actually, Stone Tavern could have like an iPad, so it was bigger, with their own wallet pulled up on the receive, and
100%.
and just hit refresh or see it, and they would be able to see the
They'd be
payment
able to see it
coming
whenever they
in.
want. Yep. Yep.
I mean, it's not that hard.
Another easy method for businesses too. They could take it a step further, which I've actually done in these systems. Okay, you won't give us the integration yet because you're waiting till whenever. You're waiting till 2030 till we own nothing and we're happy. Then you'll give us crypto integration. Thank you, Lords, right? Thank you. In the meantime, I figured it out. I said, well, they let you change stuff on. This is what I do. We can change and put images on the receipt, different writing. I said, screw it. Put a Litecoin QR code on the receipt as the image. Put a thing below that says, please send Litecoin to this. Please open your phone and scan and send Litecoin to this address. And here's the LTC address. And you list that. So it's like, hey, your bill's $47.69. You can pay with credit card, you can pay with cash, or you can scan here and pay via Litecoin. That's a way to and that's free. They can't tell you, oh, no, you're going to charge. No, you can't charge for that. We're using Litecoin as a peer-to-peer currency. We didn't need your system to validate it. We used our brain and validated it on our own.
I love it. Yeah. This is the way we opt out. This is the way we hack the system, that we, find solutions. You don't have to play in their casino. You don't have to just follow the rules. This is how we find alternative ways to, not be in their system. So I love it. I love thinking outside the box.
And people always said to me, they were like, well, why would you want someone to pay with Litecoin? You're not making money on it as the processor guy. I said, well, the systems already accept cash. I'm not making money on the cash transactions.
Right.
I tell people, most dummies that come through are going to pay with a credit card anyways. The people that want to pay with Litecoin, I want them to be able to pay for no money. If anything, the thing already takes cash. So those people will probably be paying with cash anyways. They're just paying with Litecoin instead of cash. So what I want the business to get some cash. When we set this up, when we say, hey, we're going to set up your system so it charges the credit card fee to the customer. Part of the sales pitch is we tell the people, this is going to help you generate more cash. You have to give the people an incentive to pay with cash. If I come in your business, you tell me it's same price cash and credit card, I'm going to say, well, I have the incentive to pay with credit card. My credit cards give me 2% back. You're not giving me anything off. If I pay with cash, you get instant settlement. You're not paying any fees. There should always be a cash discount of some sort. You know what I mean? So this is a way we kind of tell them, hey, you should generate a little more cash, because there's certain people are going to see that and say, I don't want to pay the fee. I'll pay with cash to save that money. You know what I mean?
Well, and once that light went off for me, when Mom explained cryptocurrency and Litecoin specifically, because it has such a great community with so many people that they want others to win, because they understand getting out of a centralized system and how corrupt all, the Fed isn't federal and there's no reserves, all that kind of stuff. And that we all win when we start putting our energy into Litecoin. Then, what do they say? The rising tides lifts all ships, or whatever. That we all win when we start putting our energy in a decentralized system. And so that's the kind of thing that you're already naturally doing with your clients, is helping your clients win and helping your clients to share that message with their clients.
And if anything, if that promotes more of a peer-to-peer decentralized economy, that's a win. Hey, if you could take the fiat system and use it to win for your own thing, now you use their tool against them.
Yeah.
You said, hey, I used their tool. I made money while I was doing it. I let the people that wanted freedom get freedom. Like, this is a win-win. You're getting paid to do it.
And they have to choose it. Yeah. But you can put those options out there. People have to choose it, But that there's a lot of options out there. Well, that's awesome. I love hearing those kind of things, and the options for freedom are out there. You guys can choose them.
You have to choose freedom. If freedom's not going to choose you, you have to choose freedom.
That's right. You heard it here from Johnny Litecoin. All right, guys. It's been a great day. If you missed any of my shows today, please go back and watch them. It's just been an awesome day. Thank you, Johnny, for everything. Words of wisdom, as always. Please go follow Johnny on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. He's got some great videos on there. It's exciting stuff watching what calm, sweet, wonderful, wise Charlie Lee is doing. More roads to freedom and privacy ahead for Litecoin. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on Happy Hour with Westwood.
Take care, guys.
Bye.